So the next item in here, of course, is coordinates. So that usually it is on shared, is more suitable. Let me inactivate URL. The next one is divide file into levels in here. Let's see the usage of that for ourselves. If in Navisworks, let me just open selection tree in here. Let's go into standard. Actually, if you pay attention carefully, these elements are based on category, floors, levels, structural columns, framing, I don't know, walls, windows, everything. Yes, every kind of category that you have, they will be separated. So the time it will happen that, for example, you don't have divide file into levels. If you activate this one and export it again, let's see what will happen. Usually we will activate this item that is really helpful to us, that the elements will be into the levels and not like category. I mean, for example, each level has some elements. You want to see them. So if you refresh it, you see they will be based on levels. And right now, for example, I can open it, level 3, and inside level 3 we have floors and structural columns, or we don't mix with structural framing, unlike this. So actually, this is really a valuable option for us. That is something that could be really helpful. Embed texture in new versions, of course, it is good added, for example, to us and since 2024. And for example, if you have texture and while exporting, these textures will be stock to model. So the next one is really helpful for us. The next one is export that you have 3 items, entire project, that all of the project will be exported, current view, that's something that you're exactly seeing, and selection, that for example, everything that you've selected, that for example, usually the current view will be used. Of course, sometimes you're using an entire project, or for example, selection, and they could be used. What does it mean? Maybe you have a kind of project and that project is really big and you want to just export a kind of specific area, like for example, I don't know, like mechanical room, for example. For example, let me just select this area like this, and then after that, let me just click on NW, and I want that to export everything that I have just selected. Let's set it in selection and just export it. So just actually the selected items will be exported for us, not all of the project. Let's click on refresh. Of course, here it exported these ones, selected items, and here is really interesting. Again, in W, actually, let's just set on current view that, for example, everything that we're seeing, it could be exported. So the next one is export room geometry. We have a kind of item in here in the name of convert room as attribute that actually it assigned the elements that were common, for example, with it. But if you click on this, the room will be exported as a kind of geometry. Let me cancel it in here and let's return into this level in here because I want to show it to you. Let's use the room separate. Let's just create a kind of rectangle in here, and let's actually activate room option in here. So template, model, and then room again. So first we have activated. Let's just activate the reference in here, for example, to see the references in here. Right now, let's go for room actually in here. Okay, so let's set the room in here. So we have a room in here. Let's return onto 3D, of course. Let's actually click on NW keyboard. And for example, let's just set on current view and let's just activate this item. If we take it, of course, it must export the room as a kind of 3D for us. 3D is not shown to us as a kind of object. It will be transparent. If you click on it, you will understand that you have a kind of room in there and you will see the information on that room in there. So let's refresh it in here. It is here. You see, if I click on it, we will have the room in here. It got highlighted for me. So, and you have the information of the room in here, like this. So, of course, let's delete it in here. Of course, move. We don't have delete in here because we said it twice. Once we just said it inside it, and for example, the second one it was here. We had room 2 in here, so it is really effective for us. So for those people who are working on architecture, or for example, or mechanic, it's really useful for them. So let's go to this part actually. The items, of course, we don't have it in here. Let's go and plan. Let's just select them and just let's delete these rooms from here. Delete. So again, NW in here. Let's go to the next part. Of course, we need it. We just use it. If not, let's inactivate it. So the next one is facing factor. It's really interesting. We'll talk about the next part.